Hi everyone, this is Jeje and welcome or welcome back to Be Colorful. In today's video we're gonna continue to use the TONIC Craft Kit 56. In particular we're gonna focus on the stencils that we find in the kit. In fact, I'd like to propose you different and creative ways to use your stencils, especially this type of stencil. As you can see, it is a particular design that includes flowers and butterflies. The butterflies have their own mask. Therefore, this is not a stencil with a generic, versatile and neutral background. So I have thought of 3 projects that will give you some ideas on how to use it. Stencils can be used for embossing on paper, and that's exactly what I plan to do for this card. I have already shown you this technique in the past, and just a few videos ago, those dedicated to kit 55, I showed you how to use the dies for embossing. To emboss with stencils, we proceed in the same way. We need a die cutter and 2 specific mats for embossing. For the C6 Big Shot, the sandwich is as follows. If you don't have the Big Shot, I suggest you check the instructions for your die cutter machine to see how to emboss with the dies. So, first, base number 2, the pink one, the cutting plate, the rubber mat, the paper and the stencil. Wet a little bit the paper before embossing it. In this way it will be more elastic and you'll be able to avoid the cracking. And finally, the impression pad. Let's go through the die cutter. I'll pass it 2-3 times. And here is the result. Exactly similar to what we will get with embossing folders. Now I'm going to reposition this stencil, aligning it well with the embossing, and I'm gonna use it in a more traditional way. In fact, I'm going to color the design using ink pad. With some post-it, I cover the part that at the moment I don't have to ink up, and I proceed to color the flowers using a light pink. I apply the color with a very small blending brush. Thanks to this tool, you can color small areas of the stencils and changing the colors. In fact, I'm going to color some flowers in pink, others with a light yellow ink pad. Then I'm going to color the center of the flowers with a brown ink. For this flower I'm using a green ink pad, as well as for stems and leaves. For the squiggles, I decided to use the pink Glacier Paste included in the kit. I'm going to apply it with the same blending brush I used before. Finally, I color the antennas with grey ink. And now the best moment. remove the stencil to see the result. A beautiful stencil, and with the embossing is even more beautiful. Next I'm going to cut out the panel, removing the excesses. And the main panel is ready. Now let's creatively use the butterfly masks included in the stencil. I'm going to use them to emboss the paper. Specifically, I'm going to use the pink satin mirror card from the kit. The embossing on this type of paper is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to wet the paper a little bit, again to avoid any cracks. And with the same sandwich as before, I'm going to emboss with the die cutter machine. I cut them out following the outlines. And here we have gorgeous embossed butterflies. Now let's move on to creating the card base. The panel with the stencil doesn't have a standard measurement, and since I want to keep the entire design, I'm going to create a card based on the panel measurement. I also make it slightly larger, so I will get some finishing borders. I'm going to color the borders with the same light pink ink pad I used for the flowers. I round the corners with my crocodile. And I glue the panel onto the card base. Then I glue the embossed butterflies, applying the glue only on the central part, leaving the wings raised to give dimension to the card. I finish the card by adding the sentiment. I choose to use a stamp from the TONIC craft kit number 29. I stamp it with VersaFine Onyx Black and do a heat embossing with clear embossing powder. I cut it out by hand, following the shape of the letters and leaving a white border around it. Finally, I glue it to the lower right corner of the card with the black foam pad included in the kit, thus ending the card. The video ends here, and I hope you enjoyed it. If so, let me know by clicking the thumbs up and leaving a comment. The techniques I've shown you can be applied to any stencil, so let me know if you have ever tried them or if you will. Thank you for stopping by, and I'm waiting for you at the next video, where we will continue to use the stencils. Bye bye and be colorful!